You're listening to How to Drink Less, and I'm your host, Adriana Cloud. Whether your goal is to cut back, take a break, or say goodbye to alcohol for good, this podcast will help you stop drinking on autopilot, learn how to manage cravings, and feel fully in control around alcohol. It's easier than you think. Listen on to find out how. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Thanksgiving in the United States on the day when this episode comes out. And so I wanted to talk about gratitude. There's a lot of pressure this time of year to be grateful. Even for those of us who don't live in the States, the festive season comes with admonitions to count our blessings and focus on the goods and riches in our lives, and to be thankful for everything we have. And listen, I love gratitude. It's a beautiful practice that not only grounds you in the present moment, because it invites you to look at what's happening in your life right now, but I find that it also expands your capacity for joy. What you focus on multiplies, and so if you focus on things that you're grateful for, you do tend to find more things to be grateful for. But there is a version of gratitude that does more harm than good, and that's what I want to talk about today. I hear this from my clients all the time. I have so much to be thankful for. I have a great family, a job I like, a partner who supports me. I love them all so much. So why can't I stop drinking for them? Or something like, there is no good reason for me to feel like I have to drink to escape my life. I am actually really lucky, so why can't I stop? Or there's the comparison edition, which goes something like, other people have it so much worse than me. I should be grateful that I'm not a real addict and I haven't hit rock bottom. I should be able to figure this out and not be struggling. Do you hear the shame baked into those thoughts? This is what I call weaponized gratitude, when gratitude morphs from a supportive practice into a stick that you beat yourself up with. It becomes another way that we invalidate our own emotions and tell ourselves that we are failing and we're doing it wrong. There's a lot of shoulding happening. I shouldn't feel this way. I should be coping better. I shouldn't need help. I should have figured this out by now. And from there, it's a very quick jump to making a moral judgment about yourself. Something like, if I were truly grateful, I wouldn't feel this way. Or if I were a better person, I wouldn't need help. You start to believe that there's something fundamentally wrong with you if you somehow can't break your dependence on alcohol just by being grateful. When you're stuck in that line of thinking, it's really hard to move forward and make changes. When you use gratitude as a should, I should be able to cut back on my drinking because I have so much to be grateful for, what actually happens is that you start policing your feelings. You hide the fact that you're struggling because it doesn't match the I'm blessed narrative. If you tell yourself that you have no right to be hurting, you go into hiding. You don't say anything and you don't ask for support, and ironically, you then end up drinking to push away those feelings of shame. So, trying to shame and guilt trip yourself into being more grateful does not lead to habit change. An approach that does work a lot better is to acknowledge that two things can be true at once. You can be incredibly grateful for your life and still have times when you feel anxious, overwhelmed, or disconnected. You can love your kids with all your heart and feel the urge to drink at 5 p.m. when the house is a mess and everyone is screaming and you still haven't started on dinner. You can be proud of all the progress you've already made around your habits and still struggle with stubborn triggers. This is the messy, beautiful paradox of being human. We do contain multitudes, and real life is very rarely black and white. Gratitude does not erase your unmet needs or emotional pain. And it certainly cannot downregulate your nervous system. If your brain thinks that you're in danger and your nervous system is on high alert, making a gratitude list will not suddenly calm you down. You need to work with your body instead. You need deep breaths or a soothing touch. You need to move your body. You possibly need to hydrate and to eat something nutritious. And if you're burnt out, you probably need more sleep and more rest in general than what you're getting on a day-to-day basis. And if you've learned to shove down your feelings because they make other people uncomfortable, appreciating your blessings won't help you to feel more at peace. Instead, what you need is to stop performing for everyone else and be really honest about your own needs and desires. Gratitude doesn't erase loneliness or trauma or grief, and it doesn't make you energized if you're running on empty. And perhaps more importantly, there is no amount of gratitude that will rewire the habit loops that your brain has built around alcohol. Anything that we think with repetition, we feel with repetition, and we do with repetition becomes a habit. If you have repeatedly taught your brain that at 6 p.m. you pour a drink, guess what? Your brain will crave the drink at 6 p.m. regardless of how much gratitude you can muster on any particular Thursday. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine, and it loves routines because routines save energy. The only reason you crave a drink in a particular situation is because you have previously had a drink in a situation like that, or you've had a drink when you felt in a similar way. If you're used to drinking to soften social anxiety, for example, then anytime you get anxious, your brain will ask for a drink. When you walk into your in-laws' house and you have this sudden overwhelming desire for a double vodka soda, it's not because you're not sufficiently grateful that your in-laws are hosting Thanksgiving this year. It's simply because you have taught your brain to associate being in your in-laws' company with drinking. That's it. Your brain is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It learns from your past behavior. The fact that you still crave a drink in response to certain triggers is not a sign that you're broken, but quite the opposite. It's a sign that your brain is functioning exactly as it should. So the work isn't to try to be more grateful, as if that will magically stop you from craving wine. The work is to identify those patterns that have become so deeply ingrained that they're running on autopilot, and to start breaking them and teaching your brain new ways to respond. It's easier than you think if you have the right tools. We as humans are blessed with something called neuroplasticity. That's your brain's ability to learn new things and make new connections. This means that no matter how many Sunday nights you have spent on the couch with Netflix and a pitcher of margaritas, you can still teach your brain to not want margaritas on a Sunday. That's the work that I do with my clients every day. I help them to neutralize cravings, first of all, and then we work on breaking the habit loops underneath those cravings. And once you stop running on autopilot, you have a lot more control and you can make more intentional choices that align with your values and with your long-term goals. So this Thanksgiving, and any other time of the year actually, whenever you catch your brain thinking, I should be more grateful for what I have, that's your cue to stop and remind yourself that gratitude can coexist with other emotions. Practice both and thinking. I can be grateful and overwhelmed at the same time. I can be grateful for all the support I already have in my life, and I can still ask for more help. I can be grateful for today, and I can still want my future to look different. And finally, when you do stop to list everything that you're grateful for, don't forget to include yourself in that list. Be grateful for the version of you who is still showing up and paying attention to what's happening in your mind and in your body. Be grateful that you haven't given up on yourself. Be grateful that you're open to learning and growing. That's the kind of gratitude that actually nourishes you and moves you forward. And if you know that you could benefit from working with a coach one-on-one because you learn best with personalized guidance, I currently have a couple of openings for new clients, and I would love to support you during the holiday season and beyond. Please don't wait until January because I promise you it will not be any easier to start in January, and you won't feel more ready in the new year. If you know that you want a different relationship with alcohol, then let's start making changes today. Book a free consultation via the link in the show notes, and let's talk about what unmet needs are driving your drinking and what real sustainable change looks like for you. Happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate, and I'll talk to you all next week. If you're looking for practical advice for how to say no to alcohol and say yes to yourself, you will want to get on my email list. Sign up to receive my free guide with 7 steps to kickstart your sobriety. The link is in the show notes, so go and grab it now, and I'll see you soon in your inbox.